doing? Hope everybody's doing good. Thought we had a really good day of practice today. Our guys strained. There was a lot of compete out there. One thing we talked to our team about is just controlled aggression, right? Football's meant to be played a certain way. Sometimes we get ramped up and we're attacking each other. We got to realize that doesn't help us win football games, right? We got to take it out in between the whistles, really control that. But our guys have done a good job. Finished really hard there at the end with a good conditioning period. Pleased with the progress. So we'll open up for questions.
Last day in shells, you go on to full pads next. Just what do you think of these first 5 days?
Yeah, it's been good work. Our guys have done a good job. Still plenty of mistakes. Not where we need to be yet, but pleased with the progress.
You talked a lot about finishing practice after day one. How have you guys improved in that aspect between the first hour and throughout practice?
Yeah, I think our conditioning's kicked up. Our guys have done a good job today. I thought some of our hardest running took place in the last 10 minutes of practice, which is always a benefit because these guys really push themselves at the front end. We probably got to strain a little bit more at the beginning, but the guys had a really good finish today.
As you guys have gone from spiders to shells next to full pads, how have you seen the young guys kind of respond to some of the physicality in practice?
Yeah, I think the physicality, that's something if you're going to bite as a pup, you're going to bite as a dog, and we can try to force that a little bit, but the reality is, you're a physical player, you're going to be a physical player. I think what you notice as you get into day 5 and day 6, what you start to recognize who's actually got their head buried in their playbook, who's spending the extra time, because it's hard to play fast and know if you don't know what you're doing. And that probably sticks out the young guys that are putting in the extra time that's required to be successul. Those are the guys that are reaping the benefits right now.
Who's done that?
There's a few guys. I just threw kudos to Kamari Terrell. He's done a really good job of meeting and taking extra time to watch film, doing the little things. That's a good example of one guy.
Who's the guy that sets an example for that, maybe a veteran player?
I think a lot of our guys take that opportunity. I know like Bennett Williams is a guy that's met with a lot of young guys. Brandon Doris is a guy that's met with young guys talking defensively. Ryan Walk on offense. These guys are looking for opportunities to pull people along with them because they've been through it.
Is Benny still looking like he's going to maybe bounce around at a few positions this year, or is he settled in at one or two spots?
Yeah, we chart every single practice how many reps guys get, and our defense, we want guys to be playing multiple spots, right? Again, it goes back to you want your best 11 to be able to play football when needed, and that means somebody might have to shuffle from spot to spot.
Are there some guys, the young guys that you don't know about that moving into contact that you're still hoping to see some things out of, some proving to be done later?
Yeah, by no means are we ready for a game yet, and there's still some opportunities for us to see some guys grow up here. Like you said, we haven't really truly been in full pads yet. Shells get you pretty close, and you'll see, like I said, who's going to bite, but I think time will tell.
Seen anything out of it? Wasn't here for spring football. Just how do you envision him fitting in this defense, and how has that gone for you guys right now?
Yeah, Casey's done a really good job. He's one of those guys that just operates like a pro. He understands what it's supposed to look like. He's really intelligent. He pushes the other players. I feel like that D-line has really ramped itself up with guys like Casey Jordan joining the fold and getting our guys that were injured back. It looks like a kind of completely different group than it did in the spring.
Do those two have a chemistry that they brought with them?
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. There probably couldn't be more polar opposites, right? But the same note, they were coached by Coach Tuioti there at Nebraska, and them coming here, I think they brought some of that familiarity with Coach into that room. But there's a really good bond in there right now.
See any positive depth in the offensive line that's emerging?
Yeah, I think a lot. Fortunate enough for us, we've been able to get a lot of young guys reps early, and there's been some guys that have stuck out and had really good days. Josh Connerly's had a good day, had a really good rep in competition today. Competition drill where we do kind of a one-on-one drill. He did a really good job. Seen some good things from Dave, seen some good things from Kavika. A lot of those young guys have done well up front.
At Media Day, a lot of the guys had praise for Bo Nix over the summer, the way he was texting guys and constantly communicating with them. How has that translated in these first few days, his leadership and all that?
Yeah, I think it just shown up. I think Bo's earned the respect of a lot of the players on the team with the way that he operates, but I think you'll see that throughout our quarterback room. Ty, Jay, all those guys have really carried on. And I think Bo's sat in that seat before, so he knows what it looks like. He's done a good job of carrying that through the entire offense.
Someone like Sam Taimani, you get out of the transfer portal. How have you seen him kind of fit seamlessly into this defensive lineup now that he's got a few months under his belt with the team?
Yeah, I've always felt like your best teams are what I would call player-led teams. And I won't go into details about what it's about, but I walk into a team meeting the other day and Sam, Taki's in the front of the room, Brian Addison's in the front of the room, and they're talking to the team about the things that we got to do better. The coaches aren't in the room, so I think that speaks to the character of the players on our team when they're having those conversations without us in there. And he's done a really good job. And you know what? I think he wants to raise his standard of play. So I think the thing that we want to recognize, sometimes you're afraid to be a leader and you're afraid to say things because you're like, well, I still make mistakes. And the reality is, I make mistakes. The coaches make mistakes. The players make mistakes. What we got to do is own them, but still be willing to call people out and get better. And Taki's done a good job of that.
Haven't seen Salah the past couple of days. That's something good.
Yeah, minor ding. I think we'll get him back here shortly.
And Mikhail Avese as well.
Yeah, his maybe a little longer term. We'll see.
Does Taki, from an on-field standpoint, remind you of anybody coach have passed up?
Not off the top of my head. You know, Taki's a really good player. I think he does a lot of good things well, but I describe Taki as Taki.
When you talk about the younger line getting some opportunities there between Salah being out and TJ a little limited, just for Josh, for Kavika, for Dave, for some of these guys, even Marcus, frankly, man, a lot of game reps. What has this past week meant for those guys, whether it be the freshmen or just less heralded guys?
Yeah, well, I think it's something. I think if you asked any offensive line coach, if you asked Coach Clem or Coach Dillingham, you'd love to say, hey, let's stick 5 guys and keep them in a spot and get continuity. And there's truth to that. But the reality is you also want to make sure that you're working those guys at multiple spots. And I think that's really what this has created for us, is an urgency as coaches to try some guys in different locations to improve our ability to be, adaptable. And, you're going to take some warts because of that, but those guys have done a really good job of getting better. And you know what? When you go against good competition, you get better.
How was your first day off of camp? I guess coming back from that, what do you hope to get accomplished next couple of days after?
Organization with the coaches. You still get the opportunity to get in front of guys and have some meetings set up. So really, to me, it's go back and assess what we've done already, right? Evaluate that. Charge the batteries, make sure that we're fresh for our players as well. I think that's really important. People don't get enough sleep in fall camp. People stay up here till 1 a.m. That's not what we need as coaches or as players. So we'll hit the reset button, make sure we're doing a good job of pushing that forward, evaluate what we've done already, and then assess what do we need to keep pushing from an install standpoint.